I just received this package from TME, ordered on a Sunday evening. It's Wednesday midday, and it's already here from Poland to the UK, 2 days. It's the GW Instek GDM-9052 bench multimeter. Let's open it up. And as you can see, it comes double boxed. I decided to make this video because I couldn't find one on YouTube. There were a couple of references about this multimeter on EEV blog. Tony Albus had a video on the higher end model. I think that was a 9061, a 6.5 digits multimeter. This is a 5.5 digits. So I did take a leap of faith. I hope it will be okay, because this brand has a pretty good reputation. As soon as I open the package, this is quite funny. There's a multimeter and quick setup guide. Okay. But the image shows a handheld multimeter. So yeah, that's quite funny. This is how it comes packed. Actually, this is from TME. So this is from TME. Just a list of general instructions. Okay, and then we have some probes. So it comes with a power cord, just the probes, the GTL 207A, an AC power cord. The probes are reasonably nice. They're soft PVC. I don't think they're silicone. Doesn't feel like silicone. Yeah, reasonably sharp. Not much to say about them. I think they'll work fine. We'll see later. Definitely not silicone if I compare them with my Brymen BM789 probes. Yeah, you can see a difference in color, and these are super soft. These are also soft, but they are PVC. That's fine. We'll see later how they perform. There is a calibration certificate. They say which was the equipment that they used to calibrate: Fluke 5730A, Fluke 5725A. But I cannot see a date of calibration. One was discalibrated, and the next calibration date again is not populated here. Yeah, manufacturer, model, 5.5 digit multimeter, serial number, and they said it was calibrated at 23 degrees Celsius. But no date. Anyway, this is a new meter. It was launched in 2025, so it's now 2026. So obviously it was calibrated within the last 12 months. They sent an EU plug, so TME did not take into account that I've ordered it from the UK. They did not replace the plug. That's fine. I have other plugs. So this is how it looks like. Excuse my filming and the lighting, etc. I'm not a YouTuber. I'm not used to posting videos on YouTube, so I appreciate there's some glare here. There's a film there, on top of the screen, which I will peel later. Tony Albus also noticed this on the higher end model. There's no intermediate position for this Bale. So, for example, like Sigland have, just to lift it slightly at a lower angle, it sits either like this, high up, or just flat, like this. So just flat on the desk. Ideally, you would put this at eye level. This is the back of the unit. There's a sticker with the serial number here. USB RS232, it doesn't have a LAN interface. Here you use these two switches to select the proper mains voltage, and there's a fuse here, and you need to make sure you choose the proper fuse. So they have some instructions in the user manual for that. It is a bit tricky to remove. I had to go with a pair of tweezers here and press. But I checked the fuse. It's a glass fuse and it says 250 volts on it, so it's good. There's a sticker here saying that calibration is void if the seal is broken. However, it doesn't say that the warranty is void. So we'll have to see whether we can open this up later without breaking the seal. Okay, so let's power it on for the first time. It is really the first time. I hope it works. Well, it works. It's very quiet. I don't think it has a fan actually, which might be a good thing. Okay, let's do some voltage measurements. Okay, so I'm not using the probes, I'm just using these leads connected straight into my DC power supply. Voltage set to 5 volts. Let's see. Five volts. Okay, let's try 1 volt. 1 volt. Let's try 10. 20. Okay, let's try 100 millivolts. Yep. It works. Well, at least for basic voltage. Let's try 10 millivolts. Mm-hmm. 9.8. Let me connect the Brymen as well. So the Brymen shows the same thing, so it's 9.87. Yeah, they match. Just a second, let me show you this. Please excuse the state of my bench. Yeah, they match. No problem at all. 9.88. And here is 5 volts compared to the Brymen. 0004 on the Instek versus 0009. By the way, here's something interesting which other people I believe mentioned. So you on the Unity UDP 3305SE, channel 1 is off, and you can see here some negative voltage. I believe this is something that other people mentioned, and I haven't checked this before. So there is some voltage, right? It's just 4 millivolts. It's a negative voltage. Interesting. And we can see it on the Brymen as well. This is as a side note. It's not related to the Instek multimeter, but related to this UDP 3305SE. It's a little later during the day. Let's try some AC voltage measurements. So we'll try 1 volt peak to peak at 1 kilohertz. Yep, so we get the RMS 0.3536. The Brymen 3535, 3538. So they broadly agree. And if we turn on the secondary display, go on frequency, we see exactly 1 kilohertz. Let's try 10 kilohertz. 10 kilohertz. 10. Okay, let's try 50. Let's try 100. 100 kilohertz. Nice. Let's try a square wave. Square wave. 10 kilohertz, 1 volt peak to peak. Yeah, you get 0.4999 9919, the Brymen gets 0.50. Let's try 200 millivolts peak to peak. I get the auto scale at 10 kilohertz, at 1 kilohertz, 1K. Yeah, no problem at all. And the Brymen agrees. Let's try 1 millivolt peak to peak. Actually, my signal can do 2 millivolts, the minimum. So at 2 millivolts peak to peak, the multimeter cannot detect, so this is at 1 kilohertz, cannot detect the frequency. At 10 millivolts peak to peak, it cannot. At 100, it can. So let's see, 50, at 50 millivolts peak to peak. Okay, it can, at 50 millivolts peak to peak, it can determine the frequency. What about at 40 millivolts peak to peak? Yes, at 20 millivolts peak to peak. Yes, at 10 millivolts peak to peak. No. So you do need, I don't have the spec sheet right now, but you do need more than 10 millivolts peak to peak to count the frequency. So there is a difference. Continuity. So here's another thing you should be aware of. So on continuity, you would need to change the speed from the default 10 per second to 320 per second to have really fast beeps. Having said that, and I tested it with my Brymen probes, you can't see it now, but I'll shut up for a second. It's really fast, but I'm holding the phone and it's difficult to show you. Having said that, the original probes are not very responsive, even at 320 samples per second. So you do really need better probes. I'm lucky I have my Brymen probes. Yeah, but the original ones, even at 320 samples per second, they're not as responsive. So you should consider investing in some better probes in general. Here's an interesting thing. So GW Instek mentioned that they have this AI feature, which AI stands for automatic identification in their case. I was pleasantly surprised about this. I took a resistor, I wanted to measure it, but I was still on continuity, and I got 1000 ohms. So yeah, pleasantly surprised. I think it can be helpful and speed up the workflow. Can switch between a resistor, continuity, capacitor without pressing any other button. So I think that's pretty cool. Let's check out the diode. Here's a regular diode, 0.5 voltage drop, 1 milliamp current. And another diode, 0.6. And it lights up a red LED, as you can see. .7 volts. Lights up a green LED. Here you go. And it barely lights up a yellow LED. I don't think you can see that, but I can see it with my eyes here during the day. I can definitely see it, but it doesn't come across on the camera. A 1 microfarad capacitor, 1.008. And the same capacitor on the peak atlas. Let's see, 955 nano. Interesting. So the range is auto here. So now that I know it's a 1 micro, what happens if I choose 10 micro? Let's see, 0.97. And then if I choose 100 micro, again 1. We lose some resolution here. I wonder if I can see the frequency. I'm not sure if I have a secondary display on capacitance. The current firmware version is 1.01. I think there's an update. Another thing which I wanted to mention is that the beep is quite satisfying, and yeah, overall I enjoy it. It's quiet, there's no fan, and this is a really good thing. I am planning to change the fan on my oscilloscope, but that's for another time. Yeah, overall first impressions are okay. The probes are not great. I like the interface, it's fast. This AI feature, auto identification, can be quite helpful. I mentioned earlier that I forgot to change from continuity to ohms, and it just worked. Not that they should work like this, but it's still a good thing. Anyway, I'll play with it a little longer, and I'll post an update video if I think it's needed.